Yo, what's up, guys? We are back at it again with another PRFFFFLMP. And it is your boy Trevor and your other boy,
It's Sam.
it's Sam. And uh we were supposed to have a guest host this week, but it does not appear as though we do have said guest host this
Hey,
week.
can you send the link to the said guest host?
Yeah, I'll send it to guest host and see if
Yeah.
he wants to pop in here. Let me do this real quick.
I just sent him the link and he said, "Hey, could you send just the link?"
Oh, just like not the full
Yeah, so
text.
if you got like the whole let me see if I can do this. This is behind the scenes, never seen before behind the scenes footage of part of the PRFFFFLMP.
Yeah. Like the whole thing that I sent you.
No, I think he just means like just the link. Let me see if this works actually.
I'll send it. See what he wants to do there.
So, while you guys are waiting, I think you guys should guess who you think it
You should
is. I'm gonna,
comment down below. Tell us who
yeah,
you think the guest host is.
yeah,
No spoilers. Don't if you already seen him, then don't comment in the chat. Or you can comment in the chat regardless. We need more interaction for the algorithm.
yeah. We'll never know. We'll never know if your guess was put in after you saw who it
That's
is,
right.
or
So you have to
but
be honest.
yeah.
Well, anyways, let's just
So we'll see if they join.
we'll get moving along here. Oh, let me share my screen here. Uh, here we go. All right. So we've got a lot to go over, right? From last week, there definitely, I mean, where to begin, right? I feel like we got to start here with Paul, right? Just seems like the appropriate spot to start.
We got to start with Paul. Yeah.
So we talked about last week that Paul needed to make up a 50-point differential and get a win and for Zach to lose. Now, Tanner needed to make up like a 45-point differential. So he needed a little bit less from his team, plus the same things. And Paul absolutely just went AWOL, right? I
Yeah.
mean,
He went a Paul,
yeah.
I
This
guess.
was one of the most outstanding fantasy performances, of all the entire season. Might
Yeah.
even
What
be the most.
I like it looks like the app updated. It looks like they're showing their faces now.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
Pretty cool. I like that.
Yeah.
What a nice little Christmas gift.
What a Christmas gift that is.
Although it
So
doesn't do that on the app. You must be on your laptop.
I am on the laptop, yeah.
Yeah.
So starting at the top here, right? This was, I mean, it's got to be one of the most impressive. Oh, hello, guest judge.
Hey,
Hello.
How are
it's
Hello.
you?
Zach.
It's
How's it
Zach.
going?
Anyone that guessed Zach in the chat, you got it right.
Welcome aboard, Zach. We have officially had every participant from this past year, the Party Room Film Festival, on the podcast.
And one
Awesome.
person though, it wasn't a participant.
Yeah,
Who
yeah.
Yeah,
is
That
who
was
is
Mitchell.
that? Who's
it was Mitchell.
Mitchell?
Yeah.
Mitchell's not in the league.
That's hilarious.
Now, Zach, I could probably surmise some things, but my guess is, let me ask you a question. Have you listened to any of the podcasts?
I've listened to like the first 10 seconds of a few of them.
Okay, that's
Nice.
fair. Was
That's
was
more
that
than a
last
lot of
week's
other
one?
people.
Say what?
Did
What?
you listen to any of last week's episode?
Uh-uh.
Oh
I,
man.
I kind of assumed as much.
Zach, you have no idea what power you held last week
You
in this
did.
Amazing.
league.
You really missed out on an opportunity to wield that power. Um, there
Oh
were
no.
last week, every single team was statistically not eliminated from the playoffs.
Oh
Um,
wow.
but there were like four teams or five teams that all needed you to lose to have a chance. And you did.
Awesome.
You did lose.
You not only
Yeah.
did you lose, not only did you have to lose and for them to get in, you had to lose and they had to outscore you by a significant margin.
Yes, by like 50 points. And they
Wow.
did. They did do those things. Yes.
So
So
do we want to pivot real quick and just go to Zach's matchup before we talk about the one we're
sure,
currently
we
looking
can
at?
do that. We can do that. We can do a quick little pivot here.
So Zach, so make sure you go to the previous week, Trevor.
Oh, that's right. I was like, where is
Yeah.
it?
Yeah, so Zach, so you are Zach on the couch. All season long, we made the joke the Zach's team is on the couch. This last week, most true to your name ever.
Mm-hmm.
You had how many players was that
I mean,
on?
at least two on the couch. One, two, three, four players you did not play.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
Um, and the crazy thing is, like, had you just played the two players that you have here, that would have made up 40 points alone without going and getting a kicker or another running back.
I see. I see.
So you were primed to win this game and ruin everyone's playoff chances. However, you left everyone on the couch this week.
even if you had put them in your lineup and even if you still lost, if you had just scored more points, you may have still. Well, I don't know.
I don't know. We can find
I
out
don't
though.
know, but yeah. Um, let's see, what was that margin there?
Um,
60. Yeah, you would have been cooked.
yeah, you needed to win.
You really, you really,
Amazing.
you
Yeah.
really blew it, Zach. This whole week, this past week of fantasy football is pretty reflective of your party room year.
Perfection.
Yeah.
So no,
That's amazing, though.
you win points for consistency,
Awesome.
It's
but
true.
I'll
you're not
take
in
it.
the playoffs. You're not in the playoffs, my friend.
Oh shoot.
Unfortunately,
I didn't make it to the playoffs.
you did not.
Yeah,
Oh,
But
what are we
that's
gonna
okay.
do? Yeah.
yeah.
So
Who is in the playoffs?
what
Everyone that's not you, Tanner, Jacob, and Josiah.
so it's these top 8 teams. So it's Darmus, Steagles, Dub Squad, Furries, Eggs, Philly Phobia, Prostate Podcasters, and the Numballers.
Okay, who's winning? Is that Diarma's?
Yeah,
Currently, Levi is in first place.
Epic.
Yes.
4 by 4. He beat me by 4 points
Now,
for
to be
first place.
fair, I think he's currently not favored to win his matchup against
That's true.
Paul.
That's because he's playing Paul this week.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Paul's team is
Um,
something special.
yeah. Let's get back to the matchups.
All right,
So
matchups,
we can
matchups. We're gonna
yeah,
power
so we
through
can,
matchups from this last week. We got a lot
yeah,
to
we
talk about this episode.
we can
Sweet.
get your insights here, Zach.
Yeah.
So
So Zach's
um
team, unfortunately, didn't do it.
no, they did not.
Yeah.
Levi's team did it for sure.
Levi's team did do it for Darmus. It's kind of
Even with
tough.
the negative points from Jonathan Brooks there, it was
Yep.
just rough, but and 0 from George Pickens too. So they were both he and Zach were kind of being risky this week.
Yeah. Yeah.
Risky.
But Roma Dunze had a good game.
Yeah,
So did
Odunze played
Joku.
well. Hurts
Yeah,
had a
Jalen
good
Hurts.
game,
Yeah.
and his kicker I think had a pretty good game if I'm
He
not
did.
mistaken.
Jason Sanders
Sanders,
went crazy. But
yeah,
well then, so
yeah,
let's go back to Paul here. Let's
yeah.
go
So
back to
this was the big game
Mhm.
changing matchup of the week. So Zach, Paul was one of the teams that you could have held out of the playoffs.
Yeah.
He needed you to lose, and he had to outscore you by like 50 points.
Yeah.
And not only did you lose, but he outscored you by like 117 points.
Yeah.
Wow.
He made up the point differential. I think he ended up beating you by like 60. I think that's what it was, something like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
That's awesome, honestly.
Yes.
I mean,
It's
yeah,
very
cool.
impressive.
Josh
It helped
Allen
that Josh
almost
Allen
had,
put up 52 points on his own.
Josh Allen almost had as many points as Zach's lineup did this last
Yeah.
week.
He almost could have just played Josh Allen and beaten Zach
What
this
did
week.
what did he do in the
So
actual
that's a really good question. He threw for 3 touchdowns. He ran in 3 touchdowns. He threw for 342 yards and he ran for 82 yards.
wow.
No interceptions, no fumbles. So it's just, I mean, monster stats.
So do you know anything about Josh Allen, Zach?
I know nothing.
Cool.
He's pretty good at throwing the football and running the football.
That's what I'm gathering from
Yeah.
these stats. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Oh,
pretty impressive.
last week he threw a touchdown pass to himself because he threw the ball, the guy caught the ball, the guy got like was getting tackled, and he was
Yeah,
like, "Wait, I could just toss it back to the quarterback." So he then lateraled it to the quarterback, who then ran it in for a touchdown. So he
That's
got
the
points.
most awesome thing ever.
he
It
was he
it
was
was
the first
impressive.
player, yeah, first player to ever run for a touchdown, throw a touchdown, and catch a touchdown in the same game.
Yes. Yes. It was very impressive.
That's glorious. Well,
Yeah.
okay then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of
Um,
course Paul has that guy.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And then
And
Jamar
then
Chase.
Jamar Chase had a huge game.
Yeah.
T. Higgins didn't have a huge game, but hey, Paul's been sticking with him all
Hey,
season.
you
And
look at it, you
going
look
to
at
the
the numbers,
playoffs.
and you say between T. Higgins and Jamar Chase, they put up 41 points.
They
So,
did. Yeah. That's been a common occurrence this season between those two.
yeah.
Oh.
But
Also, Kyron Williams had a good game. David Montgomery had a good game. Malik Neighbors had a good, I mean, just everybody went crazy for Paul this
Paul
week.
Paul is not a team that I would want to face. I'm a little
No,
upset that I didn't get the one seed from Levi, but I really would not have. I don't want to play Paul.
no,
Levi's in
that's
a tough
fair.
spot.
Paul at this point too, he even asked me, he's been asking me for updates, who he should start, who he should bench. So he's in it for the playoffs. He's ready to take some lives.
Yeah. Let's see. Let's talk about Paul's opponent here real quick.
Yeah.
Who is that? Is that
The
Cody? That's
prostates.
Cody, the prostate podcasters.
That's right.
Yeah, so Zach, how's your prostate, Zach?
It's good.
Good. That's
Good.
good to hear. Good to hear. Important to have a quality prostate.
Yeah. Not a horrible week from Cody. He just ran
No,
into
no.
the saw.
He ran straight on into that
Freiermuth,
buzzsaw.
yeah, Freiermuth, Bigsby had good games. Josh Jacobs has been on a really hot streak recently.
He has.
Um, Jacoby Myers has been really good too.
Hmm.
He had 67 yards there, I think.
Well, then
Um,
Juwan Jennings kind of went crazy too last week, which is a little atypical. But
yeah,
Herbert, now the every week mini game, did he start the right quarterback? The answer is a resounding no. He did not start
no,
the right quarterback. But also he didn't start Devonte Adams.
it's true.
But
Yeah,
fortunately for him, it didn't matter. He was always getting absolutely just ripped to shreds by Paul's team this week.
yeah, yeah. It wouldn't have mattered. Cody,
He
Cody's already in the
Cody
playoffs. I think he was probably resting for the playoffs.
Cody could have started all of his players, like every player he owns. Yeah,
It
and
wouldn't
he
have mattered.
still would not have been able to beat this. It's crazy too that Paul still has points on the bench too.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's
Brian Thomas, yeah,
yeah.
that Brian Thomas just been sitting there on his bench. Has been like a top 10 receiver this year.
Yeah, you could have started Brian Thomas over T. Higgins, but I respect
He's
it.
not going to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, let's
yeah.
keep on cruising.
Zach, where do you want to go next? Which are the
Which
I
of
don't
these
know.
four?
What's the funnest place to go to next?
No, no, you just pick one.
Jacob.
Yeah, that one.
So this is the Stoppable Force and Wizards of the Coast. So
Now, this is just there's a possibility that either of them could have made it. I think Jacob needed to score like 3,000 points from Ezekiel
300.
Elliott.
Yeah, he needed to put up 300 points.
That's right. Yeah. So
Yeah.
let's see. What did Zeke Elliott do? He got 1.1 points. So
Yeah.
he was like 299 points away from getting to the
That's
playoff.
true. Yeah. Now he definitely did not listen to us when we said he should have started Josh Palmer.
Anybody?
Yeah.
I don't think Jacob listened to us at all.
I don't think Jacob listens to us ever. But Sam Darnold had a good game, so there's that,
Zach, does Sam Darnold to you look like a Lord of the Rings character at all?
It does a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What
I
do you
can
what do
see.
you think his role in Lord of the Rings would be?
He'd probably be one of like the horse rider guys.
Okay.
Nice. That's good input. You don't get that input anywhere else.
That's right. That's right. What about him? What about Dallas Goddard? I feel like Dallas Goddard could be
Yeah.
a Lord of the
I think
Rings character.
I think he might be. Well, he's done for the year, but Stoppable Force is also done for the year, so
That's right. Yeah.
doesn't matter.
I could see them making him like an elf or something.
Okay, I could see
Oh
it.
yeah, yeah. He does kind of have an elfish face.
Yeah, that's fair.
What else? What else got going on?
What
That
about Jerry
the
Judy?
Yeah, he had a pretty decent week, I think.
He's been crazy these last couple weeks.
Yeah.
That's like 4 weeks. He's been really good. But
What was I gonna say? So the trades that the stoppable force made this year, he traded his kicker, and
Mhm.
he traded his running back. I don't think those worked out for him.
No, they certainly did not. Um, Now Josh Palmer is playing pretty well right now because Vlad McConkey didn't play, but not as well as Josh Jacobs did. So
No, yeah, Josh. I think Josh Jacobs probably could have helped Jacob a little bit more
he certainly
than
could
Josh
have.
Palmer did.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But alas.
yeah.
I like McConkey's last name.
Yeah, I
McConkey.
like that his first name is Lad. He's
Yeah,
just a lad.
he's just a lemon.
Yeah.
Let's see. What about Tanner's team here? Good week from Garendo. Good waiver wire pickup, Tanner. With McCaffrey going down, that plagued Tanner all season. Just tanked his whole season. So I'm glad that Tanner got a win. He started off strong. I think he started off 3-0, the defending champion.
Yeah, and
Then
then I killed him.
he lost like 9 in a row.
Yeah. He lost his will to live after I beat him.
Yeah, and then Tua almost died on the field. So
Tua did almost die.
yeah, but rough season for the defending champion there.
Truly is. Now, can you,
Zach,
Zach?
Zach, you've got some experience being on top of the world and then having a really rough bounce back. What's your advice to Tanner for next year?
About playing fantasy football?
Yeah, or just life.
Dude, you just gotta keep trying. Don't
Mhm.
don't let losses keep you down.
That's
Mm.
right.
That's what I'll say about that.
Now, another thing, how would you pronounce this guy's first name?
Dontavian Wicks.
I think it's just Dontavian, but it looks like there's a lot more letters in his name than I think there should be.
Dontavian.
We should just
Yeah.
call him Quick.
I feel
That's it.
like if they like added that Y in there for no reason. I
Yeah.
feel like you would say Dontavian, but then the Y is there.
Now, speaking of
Good
Lad,
old Lad McConkey.
do you think Lad should have two D's in it, or is it just one?
I think you should have a third, actually.
That's reasonable.
You,
I like that take.
you,
Yeah,
you gotta respect a man who thinks another man should have 3 Ds.
that's right. All right, next up here on the docket.
Season's over for both of those guys. So
Yep.
have fun in the consolation bracket.
Yeah, losers. So then next up we got let's hit
Yeah, this is actually a pretty important matchup if we
it
want to touch.
was, yeah. So
Yeah, so this
this is
for
the Dub
this is for
Squad
the
and the
3 seed.
Furries.
Yeah, this was for the 3 seed this year.
It was.
So Trevor, so I know that you had a statement on last week's podcast. You talked about losing on purpose so you could avoid Matt's team.
That's correct.
So you lost,
But I still am playing Matt's team.
but you're still playing Matt's team. So how does that make you feel?
Listen, I considered losing on purpose, and I would love to say that I did intentionally lose my last match. However, that has nothing to do with what happened on the field. I lost because my team is not very good, not because I meant to lose on purpose. So there's really, I didn't have any say in how this whole thing was going to go down.
That's fair.
How would you have avoided Matt's team?
Well, because if I dropped down a seed, I would have bumped to like I guess it was the fifth seed.
Yeah.
Mhm. Okay.
And then the fifth seed would
So
play
yeah. So last week, Matt was the number 4 seed and Andrew was the number 3. And
Yes.
since Matt beat Andrew, Matt jumped up to the 3 seed. And so the matchups are like the 1 plays the 8, 2 and 7, 3 versus 6, 4 versus 5.
I see.
Yeah.
Who are you trying to face?
I wanted to play Andrew instead of Matt, but then
Yeah.
Andrew lost to Matt, so now I still have to play against Matt.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's see. Andrew's still sticking with Patrick Mahomes, even though we tell him to drop him every week.
Every week we tell him this. He
I mean,
doesn't listen.
look at Matthew Stafford. I mean,
Mhm.
he should have started
Also,
Stafford, right?
look at Zach Charbonnet putting up 35 on the bench.
Yeah, that's crazy.
and Jordan Addison. That's crazy, actually. He left 70 points in these two players. That's
Yeah, poor guy. I mean, does anybody do you feel bad for Andrew, Zach?
Not really.
yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, I don't either. Um,
He won the
I mean,
Dewey. He's got his win for the whole year.
true.
That's right.
That's
He doesn't have to win
true.
anything else. Yeah, I mean, he
Yeah.
definitely could have won this game.
Yeah, Barkley had a subpar week for what he's done this year.
Mhm.
So good luck to whoever's playing him in the playoffs. But
Yeah,
talk about Matt's team. The resurgence of Tyreek Hill has really and Puka Nakua
and
has brought
Achan.
yeah has brought Matt's team back from the dead. He was dead
Yeah,
for a few weeks there.
he was.
I didn't realize. I made that whole stink a few weeks ago about Josiah dropping Sam Laporta. I
Yeah.
didn't realize that Josiah also dropped Puka after he was hurt.
Oh, did
So
he?
that's a big mistake on my part there because
Yeah.
I don't think I should have allowed Josiah to drop Puka.
Yeah, that's
But you
fair.
know what? That's how the cookie crumbles.
Yeah, when Puka was yeah, he was a second round pick.
Yeah, and then he dropped him what like third week of the season, second week of
Yeah.
the season.
Yeah, and I
No,
think none of us even realized he got dropped.
no, I didn't. I certainly didn't.
I wasn't paying attention to that, but
Yeah, that's been a big pickup for Matt to get all the way up to the 3 seed.
yeah. Yeah, that's kind of wild.
No, so yeah. So Zach, do you see anything interesting here that you want to point out?
Nope. Looks fine to me.
All right. Sounds
Awesome.
good.
Yeah, looks like we just covered all of it.
Next up,
Perfect.
we've got the Steagles and the Plute Balls. Now, where do you want to start here, Sam?
Well, I gotta start with my Bengals. Burrow had another great week. Burrow's playing like an MVP. That's too bad the Bengals stink.
Yeah.
Does Joe Burrow still look upset when he plays?
Yeah,
You
so
tell
fun.
me if Joe Burrow looks upset.
I'll
See,
tell you one thing, Zach.
when
He certainly looks hot. He looks hot, man. He's a good looking man.
that's
Uh,
pretty gay, but all right.
yeah, it is. It
But
sure is, Zach. It's certainly gay.
You know, looking here at his last 5 weeks of play, he's been going kind of bananas.
Yeah, so I saw a stat on TV a few minutes ago. Joe Burrow's had at least 3 passing touchdowns in 5 straight games. The last player to throw 3 or more passing touchdowns in at least 6 straight games was Andrew Luck. I can't
Wow.
remember the year, but it was he threw 3 touchdowns in 8 straight games. Um, so Burrow's on a pretty historic pace right now. Um, yeah, and Chase Brown played well. He got a big touchdown. That was the Simpsons game. So
It was.
Lisa Simpson had 2 big touchdowns in that game,
Yeah.
which was pretty cool. Fun fact, or maybe not so fun fact. Some of you may have heard, Zach, you probably haven't heard this, but Joe Burrow's house got broken into while he was
Mhm.
playing.
It's
what?
true.
Wow, what are your thoughts on that?
Why would they break in and steal?
I don't know.
They
Do you think
stole his lucky.
Well, someone was
Is
there
that
and
why
he like
he's
called
been
the
so
police,
upset?
right?
Maybe there's been this whole there's just a whole backstory to something going on behind the scenes, and that's why he's always upset when he plays.
maybe?
Might be
He's into
so.
some bad stuff or something.
Yeah. He's
Do you
in
think
bad. He's in
Do
deep.
you think he should have gotten any extra fantasy points for having his
Mm.
house broken into?
Actually, yeah, they probably should have just let him win the whole thing. Just give him the trophy at
Hmm.
the end.
I like that. I like that. Yeah. Let's see what else about my team. Darnell Mooney, thank you so much, Aaron. I hope you're enjoying J.K. Dobbins on your IR. Thanks for Darnell Mooney. Jake Bates had a great week. Um, yeah, I really need my receivers to come through for me in the playoffs. But Josiah put up a pretty good fight.
He certainly
Smith,
did.
Smith and Jigba
Mhm.
has been
James
he's
Conner.
had a really great year.
James
Uh,
Conner's had a quietly good year as well.
yeah, what was that 1,100 total yards, 6 total touchdowns,
Yeah.
1,200 total yards.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Look at Smith and Jigba.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
it's kind of this latter half of the
How do
season.
you say his name?
Jackson Smith-Njigba.
In Jigba?
Yeah,
Yes,
careful,
That's
careful there.
awesome. Sounds like Ninjago or something.
it does a
Oh,
little bit.
that's actually I never thought of that. That's pretty cool. He kind of looks like an Ninjago.
Yeah. So yeah, that's Jackson Smith-Njigba. Um, oh, yeah, he had a great week. Yeah, and
Yeah,
I played the Bengals defense. Now, is that something you would normally consider doing?
no, but they did have 8 points this week.
They did. That's better than the normal like negative points they get.
Yeah. So Josiah put up a good fight. I think he put up a good fight in his
He
last game
did.
of the season. So
Now,
um,
now you did mention this, Zach, that you think Joe Burrow should get the trophy and winning because his house got broken into. But you may
Yes.
not know this. Ricky Pearsall got shot.
Yeah,
It
shot?
was it was during the preseason.
What?
Someone was like they were what was it? Someone was being robbed or something like that. And he like stepped in to stop the robbery and he got shot. And yeah, so that's why he didn't play for the first 6 weeks. Now, do
Wow.
you think that getting your house broken into is worth more of a trophy than someone getting shot for saving someone?
Dude, maybe these two events are linked. Maybe
Yeah,
maybe,
maybe.
maybe there's some kind of there's like a huge thing going on with trying to take out
funny,
these football players.
it's funny you say that because there actually is there's like a group of like burglars that are breaking into the houses of famous athletes while they're playing.
I'd
Wow.
like to see their fantasy league.
Into it.
I'd like to see the burglars fantasy league.
The Burgle League.
Yeah, we should do that next year. The burger burger fantasy. Hey, I'd do a burger fantasy league too. That'd be awesome.
Burglar fantasy
All
league.
right.
Yeah.
Well,
So
let's hit.
sorry, Josiah.
That's a tough one. Let's hit this last matchup here. This was Aaron giving me a spanking.
Hmm. How's your butt feel? Did you lather it?
I didn't even lather it first. So that's kind of tough.
Unlathered.
It was an unlathered butt kicking.
Hmm.
I mean, his team just kind of played well, and my team played well too, but not well enough. He had Justin Jefferson put up like 30. Jared Goff threw for like 3 touchdowns.
Nobody beats golf.
Nobody
Do you
beats
ever beat?
Goff.
Have you ever beaten golf, Zach?
No.
Yeah,
That's
nobody
good.
beats Goff. Never once beat
What else
Goff.
there?
This is what's
Pollard,
the
Pollard had a good
story
week too.
with Goff?
Dude, no, nobody beats him.
Nobody beats him.
Yeah,
How is that possible?
dude,
But he's
nobody,
golf.
because
You
he's
just
Goff.
can't beat golf.
He's Jared Goff. Look at him. Look at that guy.
Man. All right. Well,
He looks like a quarterback that was a first round draft pick that went to a really good team and took them to a Super Bowl, and then they didn't win, and then the team moved on from him instantly after they did not win the Super Bowl. And then
Do you
he
really
got
think you can beat that golf?
what?
I'm just asking Zach if he really thinks after looking at him if he could beat that guy golf.
Yeah. Do you think you
I
could beat
don't
that?
I don't think so.
That's fair.
That's good.
He's probably pretty big. He's probably like 6'4".
hmm
Yeah.
He's a big dude. Anyways, so
Is
that's
this true? They dropped him after not winning the Super Bowl?
They traded him.
they traded him, yeah. But it was pretty clear, like, we think you were the reason we didn't win the Super Bowl.
Really?
Because they traded him plus like 2 first-round draft picks for another quarterback.
And then they won the Super Bowl.
And then they won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Oh,
But now
shoot.
Jared Goff might win the Super Bowl this year. So
Correct.
That'd be great.
It would be. It really would be the most fair trade of all time.
it
I
would
like
be.
that.
Yeah.
Cool. Interesting.
Anyway.
What else? What else is worthy noting?
Not a whole lot. My team got beat up. Aaron's team just was better than my team, you know.
Oh, here's another mini game we like to play. Zach, what do you think of the logo for Trevor's team?
It's
You
true.
scroll up there. Yeah,
What
what's
do you
your
think
opinion
that
on
is?
I want to know what you had to Google in order to find that image.
Well, what do you think it is, first off?
Isn't it a pair of underpants or something?
It's a jock strap.
Right.
Yes. So I just Googled jock strap.
That's the
Yeah.
first thing that came up.
I don't think it was the first thing that came up, but it was one of the things that came up.
Yeah, okay. Cool. Yeah, it's great. It's definitely eye-catching.
Good,
So
good. I'm glad I've caught your eye with my jaw.
Didn't know that jock straps caught the eye of Zach. That's good to
Hey,
know.
listen, yeah, keep that in mind.
Pretty gay.
Yeah.
No, every week we talk about how I should start Bucky Irving and Rashad White, but this week Bucky Irving was hurt and didn't do anything.
Hey,
But
they got you 26 points combined.
between the two of them, they got 26 points.
Yep.
You start them both.
See?
Yeah, not bad at all.
Yeah, and
So
then
let's look at the benches here. Not a whole lot on either bench.
no, we were definitely a little bit light this week,
Yeah.
so it's a little tough.
Hmm.
But yeah, so that's all the matchups for this week. Now, let's just go ahead and take a quick peek at we only have a couple minutes left here about next week. Because as we did talk about, right? There are only 8 teams that made the playoffs. There are 4 teams that did not make the playoffs. So, now the 4 teams that did not make the playoffs, I think they still have games, don't they?
Yeah, I think they'll have consolation games if I'm not mistaken.
Maybe
What's
not.
the point of them having games if they didn't make the playoffs?
Just to see like the final order.
Well, also a
where
lot of
everybody
times
finishes.
leagues will have a punishment for finishing in last place.
Oh, Zach, you're perfect for
Uh,
this. Whoever finishes last, what punishment do you think they should have?
oh man. Hmm.
And just keep in mind, it could be you.
True.
Right. Right. No, I hope it's me. Let's see. I mean, it'd be cool if it had something to do with Party Room. Like, it'd be cool if they had to include Trevor's jockstrap or something.
Yeah.
Like,
I
that would
I
be.
could send them a fresh jock strap to use in their films.
That's a great punishment.
Yep. They have to just include either that image or whatever you
Oh
send to
no.
them.
Whatever I send them has to go in.
There you go.
Yeah.
So, Zach, what is your looking with all the knowledge that you have of the teams that are in the playoffs, who do you think will win the whole thing?
I mean, you said Levi was doing well.
That's correct.
I would guess him.
Okay.
Okay, so just going with the number 1 overall seed.
Fair enough. Now Levi might lose this week. He's currently
Yeah.
on pace to lose this week.
So
Right.
if Levi loses, then who would you want to win?
Probably Paul because he beat me.
So what if Levi and Paul lose, then who would you want to win?
Yeah, then who would you want to win?
Are you guys just gonna whittle it down until it's one of
Yeah.
you?
Exactly.
Maybe so.
Oh, I mean, let's see.
Do you want to know who all's still in?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I guess I can see right here though.
you can. That's correct. But I don't know if you know which team is which.
Well, I assume W squad is the M squad.
That's
Yeah.
correct.
Matt and procrastination is that Cody.
That's correct.
Podcasters.
Furious Furries for Ferguson's gotta be
Yeah, that's Jacob
well,
McGlone.
That's Andrew.
Don't give me that. Let's see. The pug light the egg on fire. That's right. We got Aaron and Steagles. That's Sam. Let's see.
And then the jock strap's obviously me.
Right.
Hey, hurry up.
We've
Make your
been over
prediction, Zach.
this. uh, I mean, Matt's always really good at playing the game. Like, at least he knows. How is Matt doing though? Is he?
He's
doing
on a bit of
well?
a tear because he picked up Puka.
Hmm.
But I might beat him this week. So who's to say?
Who's to say?
Yeah. Yeah.
Who's
Well, I'm good.
Never mind. Go ahead.
No. You go ahead.
Whose name do you like the best out of all the names?
Yeah.
Probably the Furious Furries for Ferguson. I think that's pretty funny.
There's a player in the league whose last name is Ferguson, and he's not on that team.
Yeah, do you think Andrew should have been required to draft him?
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, no, I think so
Like,
too.
if there was enough players to fill his team that were all named Ferguson, he would have had to have done that.
Yeah. Now,
So
One thing we can do actually is we get a little peek in the future because we've never done a podcast while games have already been played.
Ah, I
True.
see.
So like we can look here and it's kind of funny, like everyone on this side, they've all like started playing. So
Yeah.
like Paul's team, he's got Kyron Williams who underperformed a little bit, but pretty much on pace, you know. You like to see the point totals in the column,
Mhm.
not just the predictions. Not a whole lot to say there, but I did want to go through
Yeah.
and
Levi's got an uphill battle. That's going to be
Levi certainly has an uphill
yeah.
battle. Yeah.
He really needs his running backs to come on strong again.
Yeah. Now Paul has Brian Thomas. Is there? I mean, I guess I wouldn't put him in over anyone else.
Maybe Malik Neighbors just because the Giants offense is
True.
horrible.
That's true. He could. But I mean, his team looks quite strong here.
Yeah.
Um, and one thing we will run into in upcoming weeks is players sometimes start getting rested for the playoffs. So that can sometimes impact championships and things like that.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, so then next up we'll hit the furries. Now, tough break for Andrew here. Last night's game was a low scoring affair, and Cooper Cup, who has been historically quite good, putting up a goose egg. You never like seeing a zero here. And then even George Kittle, who's had some good games, coming up a little bit shy as well. Andrew definitely is gonna be up against it to try and win right now, looking at the teams as they are.
Yeah.
Um,
Let's see. What are we looking at? Aaron and Andrew.
yeah, and I was saying how it's tough that Cooper Cup didn't catch a single ball.
Yeah, that's tough. Yeah, I hope Andrew loses.
That's fair. You're allowed to hope that.
Yeah.
Um, next is yeah, Cody and you. Now he
I hope
started
Cody
Juwan
loses.
Jennings. He didn't really do anything.
Thank
It
goodness. Cody's already beat me twice this year, so I'm scared.
That's kind of now, should he get a good thing he didn't start Brock Purdy though.
I kind of wish he did.
Yeah, that's fair. I bet you do. Now, is there a reason he's not starting Brees Hall?
I hope he doesn't listen to that because I don't want him to start Brees Hall.
Because
I
I
think
feel
he's
like
hurt.
he
Yeah, he's
should,
definitely hurt. Brees Hall's hurt, so don't start
but
him, Cody.
he looks like he's gonna play. He might play.
Nah, he's not going to play. Cody's not going to listen to this podcast anyway.
That's true. But Cody, if you do listen, you should put probably Brees Hall in for Tank Bigsby, and
I thought
also
you
go
said,
find another defense, not the Buffalo
I thought
defense.
you, I thought you said, Cody, if you listen, you should poop. That's what it sounded
You
like.
should do that too.
Yeah, get
Um,
your colon podcast with your prostate podcast.
that's right. That's right. Yeah, you don't want to start Buffalo against that Detroit offense. They score a lot of football points.
Yeah, they do. So,
Yeah.
I'm really worried about my receivers. AJ Brown is having
Yeah.
some controversy there in
Yeah,
Philadelphia.
apparently Jalen Hurts doesn't want to throw him the ball.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? We've got our weightlifting expert on with us with Zach. Can you
Yeah.
pull up a picture? Can you pull up a picture of DK Metcalf, Trevor?
On the interwebs.